Denominators, and welcome to lesson 116 on finding common denominators to add, to subtract, and to compare fractions. This lesson is nice and easy. You're going to love it. So to add, subtract, or compare fractions, we first need to give them common denominators. We already know this. Now we're just bringing it all together. We do this by making their LCM, which was their least common multiple, the denominator, and forming equivalent fractions. Okay, so here's our first one. Let's say we wanted to add 1/2 and 3/4. Well, 1/2 has a denominator of 2 and 3/4 has a denominator of 4. And so because they're not the same, we can't add them yet. We need to give them common denominators. So in order to do that, we want to find the least common multiple of 2 and 4. So over here, I wrote the two numbers down because we've found least common multiple this way. So we'll list the multiples of 2. We've got 2, 4, 6. Let's go to 4. 4, 8, 12. Did we already find one? We sure did. It was 4. This example's silly because they use such a basic one, but whatever. We're going to give them equivalent, we're going to make them equivalent fractions with denominators of 4. So 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2. So then 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/2 becomes 2/4, and 3/4 can stay just as it is. Now I'm ready to add. I'm going to add the numerators first. 2 plus 3 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. And I'm not completely done yet because 5/4 is an improper fraction. I want to simplify it. So 4 goes into 5 one time with 1 left over. So it simplifies to 1 1/4. 1/2 plus 3/4 is 1 1/4. All right, here's our examples. I just did one example of each type. We're going to walk through them together. It is really not too bad. The first step is to write them vertically so that way it's easy to convert them. So I've got 1/5 plus 1/4. Now I'm going to find the least common multiple of 4 and 5. So when it's really small numbers like this, when the numbers are less than 5, the easiest way to find the least common multiple is just to multiply them times each other because you're still going to be dealing with a really small number. When you have bigger numbers, you might want to find the least common multiple by doing the lists of them out. But what is 4 times 5? 20. 20 is going to be their least common multiple. So 4 times 5 is 20, which means 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20, so 1 times 4 is 4. And so I end up with these two new fractions. And from here, I can add them. So 4 plus 5 is 9 over 20. And then I'm going to look to see if this can reduce. Well, 9 can only be divided by 3, and 20 doesn't divide by 3 evenly. So these numbers are already reduced. All right, let's go to B. It's for subtraction. So I'm going to start by, I need to give them common denominators, okay? And they're already written vertically, so it's nice and easy. I'm going to leave myself a little space to rewrite in the mixed number, and I'm going to write my fraction bar out here. So I've got 2 and 6. What are 2 and 6's least common multiple? Well, I can multiply 2 by 3 to get 6, so I can't get any smaller than 6 for a multiple of 6. We're going to go with that. So I'm going to give them both a denominator of 6. 2 times 3 is 6, so 1 times 3, I can write it in so you know what I'm doing, is going to be 3/6, and then I'm going to have my whole number come over too. So I've got 3 and 3/6. Over here, I've got it staying the exact same. All right, now I want to subtract. So 3, I'm going to subtract the numerators first. 3 minus 1, which I can do. Now, if I couldn't do that, then I would have to borrow from the 3 and rewrite this to add in the whole of the 6. But since I can just go right like this. So 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. My denominator stays the same. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. But I'm not done because 2 6 is not reduced. 2 and 6 are both even, so they will both reduce when I divide them by 2. And so my new answer will be 2 and 1/3. All right, compare. I've noticed that these are the questions that a lot of you are getting wrong on your independent practice, things with comparing. In order to compare, don't just guess. Make them something that you can compare. So with fractions, we need to give them a common denominator. So right now, I have 3/4 and 7/8. So if I were to do 4 and 8 out here to find their least common multiple, we'd find out that it's 8. So I'm going to write 7/8 right here. And this one I'm going to change to go from 4 to 8. I multiplied by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So then 3 times 2 is 6. And now I can compare them. Which one has a bigger numerator? The 7/8, which means that one is bigger. So then 7/8 is bigger than 3/4. Yes, I want you to do these steps of writing them as equivalent, not just guessing which one is bigger. So when you get to a fraction that you don't know, you have a process that'll work. I will see you tomorrow.